This episode is sponsored by Amy Wangard. The Amy Wangard Group is proud to serve Northeast Ohio and all YSU alumni. Ranked 15th out of more than 10,000 realtors across 27 counties, Amy and her team deliver trusted, professional real estate advice for your most significant investment. Through exclusive programs designed to simplify buying and selling, they offer solutions you won't find anywhere else, helping clients move confidently at every step. Their goal is to maximize your value and provide a smooth, stress-free experience that turns your dreams into reality. At the Amy Wangard Group, clients become family, and every home is a new beginning. Learn more at amysguaranteed.com. Again, that's amyguaranteed.com. The link will be posted in the description. All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Penguin Nation Fans Podcast. As always, I am your host, Gino Leone. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at YTown Nation. And don't forget to check out my written work over on Redshirt Sports. Today, I will be previewing the YSU offensive line, looking at the position group that could potentially define YSU's offense this season, and just looking at the insane continuity that we have been able to have up front. This has been probably the most impressive position group that we have had under Doug Phillips and under our offensive line coach. Just the layers and the depth we have been able to establish on the offensive line has been insane. And I think this offensive line could really be special. When you return your entire starting offensive line from a prolific offense, right? We scored 30 plus points in 10 games, around 37 points per game, roughly 460 yards per game. We allowed just 17 sacks all season. When you return that kind of production up front, and you couple that with the return of the Walter Payton Award-winning quarterback in Bo Brungard, you're going to have a very good chance to be an elite unit on offense. That's just putting it simple. And not only did we bring back, our top 5 guys on the offensive line, we were also able to bring back some massive rotational pieces and some guys that were able to rotate in to get spot starts, to take over spots and mess up the rotation, because we have so much talent on that offensive line where these guys are going to war every single day to fight for that starting job. And I think the most notable thing about the offensive line is that we have 5 senior contributors and 2 junior impact players. Those upperclassmen and that experience and having these guys that have been together for so long and have that connection with Bo Brungard, they know what they're playing for. They know what the standard is at Youngstown State. That chemistry, that communication, and that experience playing together really cannot be overlooked. And I think that kind of continuity can make this one of the most stable offensive lines, not only in the Missouri Valley, but also in the entire FCS. Like this is a legit offensive line, and I think we have done an excellent job at retaining these guys, because let's be honest, you look at a guy like Desmeal Leigh at left tackle, you cannot convince me otherwise that he did not get some offers this offseason and the previous offseason to go play at a Power 4 school. He's a mammoth. He's 6'7", 325 pounds. He's an NFL draft prospect. You cannot tell me that he was not getting offers from other schools to go play at the Power 4 level. Yet, he decided to stay. The fact that we were able to retain this much talent on the offensive line is just unbelievable. And this is why, we talk about Youngstown State being a potential contender next season for not only a Missouri Valley title, but also a national championship, because we have all this continuity coming back up front in the trenches on both sides of the ball. You look at the defensive line as well. We have a lot of depth, a lot of guys coming back, but it really is the offense. It's really what we were able to accomplish on offense last season. And having Bo Brungard back, having our top running back back, having our top 3 tight end options back, our entire offensive line, wide receiver needs rebuilt, but having that continuity is something that, frankly, not many teams in the country are going to be able to do and are going to be able to say about their team. I know some of the top tier programs like Montana State, have probably done a phenomenal job of retention. But, the job that Youngstown State has been able to do this offseason and keeping their guys in-house has been very impressive. So let's get into the key returners here on the offensive line. Desmeal Leigh is the headliner of the group at 6'7", 325 pounds. He was a second team All Missouri Valley Football Conference selection last season. He started all 13 games, played every snap in 9 of them. What's crazy about the Leigh story is that he played only 1 season of high school football at Roosevelt. I've known this for years now, and I still can't wrap my head around how good of a football player he is and how far along this journey he has come. I mean, he redshirted at YSU, that became a full-time starter in 2023, and he's really turned into one of the top tackles in the conference, one of the top offensive line prospects for the NFL draft and the entire FCS. His story is unbelievable. He was a lacrosse player in high school, and now he is an absolute beast on the football field. He is probably one of the greatest stories of development that we have seen, in the Doug Phillips era, to get somebody that can sit in the program, develop, remain loyal to the program, and just become an absolute monster at left tackle and protect Bo Brungard's blind side. He's so important to the offense and what we do offensively. Van Keen returns at center. He started 10 games last season, one of the more important leaders up front. He started 9 games at center, 1 at right guard, and then also in 2024, he started every Missouri Valley Football Conference game at center. It's important to get a guy like this back because the center position is critical. It's critical for line calls and protections, anchoring the interior of the line, making sure that everybody is staying in line. To get him back, that's a big retention. On the right side of the offensive line, Joe Safera and Shane Keenan come back. Safera started the first 7 games at right guard before being moved to left guard for the final 3 games. And then Keenan started the first 5 games at right tackle and then later rotated inside to guard. What I think makes bringing all these guys back even more impressive is what I just mentioned and alluded to with Safera and Keenan. This was not like a stable offensive line the entire year. Like, this was an offensive line that the coaching staff is experimenting with different rotations, and guys are like losing their starting jobs and being moved to positions that they might not be comfortable with. I think that's what makes this all the more crazy is that, some of the guys that we're bringing back, they lost their starting job. Like, they lost their jobs to some other players, but they decided to come back and duke it out and really fight for a starting role once again. The depth of this line is experienced. I'll allude to a couple of guys here that sort of emerged out of nowhere and sort of established that depth for the YSU offensive line. Matthew Keeley started 4 games at center during Missouri Valley Football Conference play. He's a reliable backup option on the interior line. Don't count him out, though. He could easily compete for the starting center job with 4 starts in some critical games. His first start last season came against North Dakota State, and he absolutely shined and killed that role for the Penguins. Nicholas Nielsen took over at right tackle for the final 4 games. He's 6'6", 270, brings length and athleticism. And again, it's just unbelievable to me that we can return so much talent, so much depth on the offensive line. And there's probably more guys beneath the guys that I'm talking about, that are developing at an incredibly high rate and might even push for playing time next season. Left guard Isaac Perkins, another key veteran for the Penguins, and will really anchor that rotation for YSU, if not push for a starting role. He's one of the more experienced linemen on the roster. He's a transfer from Colgate, started 15 games before arriving at YSU, started 10 games for the Penguins last season. Veteran leadership, positional flexibility. And this group could really be special because when you return the entire starting lineup, There's multiple players with 20 plus career starts. There's depth players who have already started games and sort of fought for starting roles and messed up the offensive line rotation. You bring back experienced quarterback in Bo Brungard. You know, the offense could take major steps forward, and that might be crazy considering the numbers that we were able to put up last season. That continuity on the offensive line, I would be shocked if there's many teams across the FCS that have this much experience, proven production, guys that have been in a program for this long coming back on the offensive line. And the offensive line is one of the more important position groups on offense and on the entire roster. So that's going to do it for this edition of the Penguin Nation Fans Podcast. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Make sure to leave the show a 5-star review and continue to support the podcast on social media. For now, I'm Gino Leone, and as always, go Gwins.